What's up, my brother? Yo,
What
Rick.
up? What up? What up?
Yo, Rick. Yo,
What's
my brother,
going
yo,
on?
Rick. Tell me, what does Big Pun mean to you being a Latino hip hop fan? Break it down, man.
Oh man, it's like I remember Joe, like what was it? 9-8, Bushwick, Brooklyn, hearing like "You Not a Player" going crazy. And I had to go get that album, B. I ran and I took that album, bro. I ran to Knickerbocker Ave where Tony Touch used to have his mixtapes on the block.
I know the
This was
spot.
called Music Hut in Knickerbocker Ave. And Bushwick was all Boricuas and
All that
Dominicans.
Knickerbocker and Troutman, all that
All
Bushwick
that.
is all body at
Yep.
the time
And
before gentrification.
100%. 100%. And man, it's just, I remember me and my friends, like, that was like a sort of like a moment in time for us. Like, we just was like, what we gonna do today? We gonna get that Pun album. Like, we were waiting for it. You know what I'm saying? And like, his anticipation was incredible because I knew, his singles was like ringing crazy. And it was just like this moment of like, oh, like this energy to me that I was like, I've never seen this before. You know what I mean? Somebody who looked like me, who talked like me, but was competing at the highest level, at a level on the level for people that I respect. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nas's and the Jay-Z's and everybody who was
I'll tell you a
doing it.
crazy story. Keep your
Yeah,
thought, because I need that from you. But I tell
yeah,
you, every time somebody says something, I think about something. You know, I took Pun. His idol was Coogee Rap and
of
Big
course.
Daddy Kane. So I took him to Coogee Rap and Nas when I had just signed him.
Yeah.
And I told Pun to freestyle for them. I don't know how I got them two together. It was Nas and G-Rap. And when I seen them doing the bobblehead, like, and you know, at the time, Nas was the best rapper in the world, and G-Rap was just leaving being the best rapper. Like, G-Rap was the king. He was the illest, and then Nas had just took the throne. And what had the throne around that time to me. And when Pun rapped to them, and they was like this, I knew I said, nah, Joe,
Yeah.
you gotta go all the way out. You gotta go all the way out with this guy. This is the guy. And they was like, yo, that boy is crazy. G-Rap was like, word, that boy is fire. Hey,
100%.
mommy.
Say hi.
Hey,
Say
mommy,
hi.
it's the Cookie Monster. I'm the Cookie
I'm talking to
Monster.
Fat Joe. Yeah.
Yo,
Nah,
so
that's
the
incredible.
feeling, because I always wondered, because I'm in it. So, you know, when you in it, it's a little bit different. I knew it was big, but I was wondering what it was to
Right.
be like.
You were
How did you
inside.
feel like we had a
Yeah.
Latino superhero? What was the energy? What was it?
It was just like you remember when Big was popping? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 9-3. Like, you remember that day? It was like Big was like, it was ringing. That's how it felt for us. It was like that. It was that, like, it was like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Massive.
okay, massive, and I was just excited, man. I was
You know
just,
what we did in his album release party? We kept it Latino. We had the Latino. I guess we started the bartenders. We had the Latinas giving out the drinks. We made acapurias, bacalaitos, ices. We had that shit straight Spanish. But yet the real hip hop community was
right.
all in that party. The Raekwons, the Wu-Tangs, the MOPs, the Mobb Deeps. Everybody was at that party, but we was representing that Latino culture on another level.
Yeah, and me being, sort of like just seeing it from afar, like, because I remember at that time, like, bars mattered to me, and just like dissecting like the things that Pun was doing on a level, and then like saying, okay, we got somebody that could be top 3 of all time. You know what I mean? And then like going crazy over there and championing it. You know what I'm saying? Because the freestyles, the stuff that Pun was doing at that time too, like just featuring on other people's stuff and outshining them, it was just like mind
Yeah.
blowing. You know,
You know,
98. You know,
Pun was the only guy that I used to run with Pun, and Pun would see some. This is when he's double platinum.
yeah,
He would see some kids battling, like doing a cipher, and he
yeah,
would jump out the car and battle them, like unknown rappers. Like, where you go, and then start battling these guys. And I was like, yo, Pun, you know, if Pun took an L, it'd be over. I'm like, you know, and Remy same way. Like they Remy was battling
yeah.
while she had leaned back out. Like I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Man.
Like no name rappers, but that's what it was for Pun. You know, when you listen to Capital Punishment and he did the song with Black Thought of the Roots, I ain't even gonna lie, I wasn't even up on Black Thought at that time.
Right.
And he was up on it, and he just wanted to be known as the best lyricist in the world. That's
Which
it.
I thought was, which we all appreciated that he did that, because I understood it. Like, you know, the Roots at that time was one of my favorite too. Like, I had Things Fall Apart, I had all that stuff, you know. So for me, it was like, oh, that's genius, and that's the best thing he could have ever did, was to say, no, I could go bar for bar with the best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, he
I
wasn't. He
mean,
was, you know, it was almost a setup when we did. I know it's Capital Punishment Day, but we talking about. It was almost a setup for Nas on John Blaze, so I was cool with Nas. I was doing John Blaze on my album. Pun was like, yo, get Nas, because he wanted to get
yeah,
on the record with
yeah,
Nas bad. So he was like, yo, my crew puff fly. Anyone test the pun must die. Just give me one try. You know you done fucked up.
yo, done fucked up, right?
No, you ain't got no wins in mi casa. ¿Qué te pasa? You ain't even in my class.
In my class,
You
oh
know,
God,
the man, I still, you know, so like me, you know, I deal with pain different. You know, after Pun
yeah,
died, I
yeah,
went into depression for like 2 years, seeing a psychiatrist, all that. Like, it was a really dark time. So even like my sister passing away, you know, and all those things I try to keep like in a box where I
sure,
walk towards the light, so I don't feel like that. But today I allowed myself to listen to all the Pun shit and just reminisce and be like,
right.
damn, man, we was on some shit, man. We was on some shit. It was crazy, man.
I mean, you know what? I gotta tip my hat to you, because you know, and you mentioned this with Nori before, was this idea that you saw talent in somebody else who was Latino, and it wasn't about jealousy or competition. It was about, no, this is next, and I have to be a
World got
part
to
of it.
hear him.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, that's, it's such a blessing and an amazing example, you know, to see a Latino say to another Latino, I want you to win and I want to help. You know what I'm saying? And that's so important, man. And again, like I said, just being on the outside, it was the identity of who Pun was made me. And at that time, Joe, you know, I was auditioning and, you know, trying to get into films and television shows, and, you know, just finally getting my feet wet in the game. And, you know, I said this before in other articles, because people have interviewed me about, you know, who was a real inspiration. I've always said Pun, because Pun at the time was there popping when I started my career. And it was because he gave me the, you know, just that energy to just be myself, because I saw myself winning in him. You know what I mean? Even though he's from the Bronx, I'm from Brooklyn. Everybody in Brooklyn that was Puerto Rican, or, you know what I'm saying, that loved rap the way I did, you know, all of my friends, we championed him, because we were like, we see ourselves, you know what I mean? And so identity is so powerful. And so, you know, I salute you for that, man, because that's a beautiful thing. You know, I know, I met, you know, his son, and I told him that, I was like, you know, your dad influenced the hell out of me, because he, you know, it's just incredible what he did, just being who he is, and bringing that amount of excellence into his work, because lyrically I mean, he laid the foundation
He
for
was
real.
born, huh? He was born He was born for that, man. You know, there's
Well,
some people that their job occupation is that.
yeah.
His job, he was born naturally in his DNA was to be, you know, the greatest Latino MC of all time.
My crew would catch you and trap you inside of Cooper's castle. I mean, when he said that bar, I was like, oh my
When he
goodness.
said, we recognize who lies, it's all in the eyes, Chico. We
Chico,
need them to see them for what they are. These and undercover cars,
oh,
taking my
taking my
pictures like
pictures
I'm
like
a
I'm a
fucking
fucking
star.
star. Come on.
I'm
Whew.
sitting there like, oh my God. Like, you know, even to this day, I listen to every time
Yeah.
I listen to Pun's music now, 22 years later,
Yeah.
a gem goes off. Like, I'm like, wow, that nigga said that like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And music in general, it just ain't that type of time no more.
Yeah.
Where it ain't on the lyrics like that no more. You know, it's more fun, play. But at that time, you had to be real with them bars,
For
or you
real.
would not survive.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like people understand the climate of '98 was like, I mean, you had Cannabis who was like in his bag. You know, you know, Nori was killing it. Like Nori was just putting out fire. You know, John Forte, you know, even the lyrical cast, Most Def and Kweli, and there was just so much lyricism and sharp gems coming from everybody that you could not come out whack at that time, you know. And
Yo, I mean, you know, it's the time. I'm gonna get some more of our friends on, man. I love you, my brother. Thanks
yeah,
so much
man.
for supporting us, man. We appreciate you, man. Keep doing your thing in Hollywood. We
Man,
rooting for you.
man, I appreciate you for having me,
All
Joe.
right, stay up, my brother.
Yes, sir.